Good evening.
Hello,
How are you?
hello, Harold. Welcome to the French Toy Rendez-Vous.
How are you doing?
Number 18. Thanks for joining, Harold. So, where are you located? I forgot.
We're located in Toronto, Canada.
In Canada, in Toronto. Okay. So you
Yes.
Canadian
Yeah.
guy?
I am a Canadian guy, but the funny thing is just because you sit in one country doesn't mean that that's the country where you play. You know,
Yes.
I started my career in the toy business at Spin Master.
Okay.
And I remember every day Anton, Ben, and Renan used to teach me about having a global perspective
Yes.
and not focusing on the Canadian market. At that time, it was a very small company. We're talking about 1999. And we were projecting some big growth. And Anton always used to say, focus on the United States, focus on the US, tell me what's happening there. And it really helped me understand the importance of global business and devising strategies that, didn't paint every country with the same brush. I
So,
love
Harold,
Canada.
before
Yes.
going into that, the show, I would like to go back to the beginning and
Yeah.
talking about the little child Harold, and then we talk about the business, what you have done with Spin Master and the media and everything. But let's start from the beginning, Harold. This is a little bit
Yeah.
the why is the show. Uh, the little Harold, the young guy Harold, with where are you born?
Born in Toronto,
Okay,
raised in Toronto, schooled, educated in Toronto, married in Toronto. Basically, I've lived my whole life here.
Toronto is the place to be. I understand.
Yes.
So when
Yes.
you're young Harold, remember you are 5 to 10 years old. What are you playing? What are you doing inside, outside? What kind of toys are you playing?
So I loved toys that provided creative stimulus. And what I mean by that is by nature, I'm very uncoordinated. I can't draw a circle or a straight line. My very favorite toy was Light Bright because it gave you the stencil. It helped you because it told you what color peg to put in which hole. And I could create, light bright creations of my favorite licensed product. And then, of course, I did branch off to try and do some of the unstenciled light bright product. But I loved that toy. I loved Spirograph. I thought I was an artist because Spirograph made you make beautiful creations with a little bit of help.
Okay.
um, those were my favorite type of toys.
So
Construction.
what are your passions when you are young? What do you, apart from playing those toys, what do you like to do?
I was very social when I was younger, had a lot of friends, liked to do things in groups, playing sports, playing with toys, you know, um, even when it came to school, I really thrived in environments where we got to do presentations in groups. And one person was an expert in this, and one person was an expert in that, and you can bring it all together to put together the perfect presentation.
Okay. So you are growing, you are in Toronto. What are you studying?
So I'm studying media relations.
Media relations.
I went to university for media relations, and when I graduated, I started working, my first job out of school was working for a animated television station in Canada. It was called Teletoon. I was doing promotions
Mhm.
with them on a 3-month contract, and really gave me my first opportunity to understand marketing and communications when it came to children, families, learning how to communicate effectively to that really targeted demographic that, I'll call families, because in today's world, family takes on so many different meetings, so many different types of families. So I think that's where I got my first opportunity to really learn the nuances of communicating in an effective way to that demographic.
Okay. So after that, what do you do? Where do you start to work?
So I was with Teletoons on a 3-month contract,
Uh-huh.
and my timing was perfect because I went to school with the founders of Spin Master. And I'm talking about grade school, not university. So we grew up in the same neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
Many of my friends had started to work at the company. And one of my friends suggested that I come and speak to Anton in the summer of 1999 as they were launching Flick Tricks finger bikes.
Uh-huh.
And the story is very short. I met with Anton and I didn't leave for almost 14 years. They had this magic that I wanted to be a part of. There was so much opportunity, and I felt that it was a place that I could very quickly acclimatize to,
Mhm.
grow my career, grow my knowledge, get opportunities beyond where I think I could have got opportunities anywhere else. And had a fabulous run with the company. I started in almost a sales role,
Yeah.
and within a few months, I was doing marketing. And the marketing was mainly focused on the US market.
Yes. Yeah.
And because of the company's success, there was no time to do things slowly.
Mm.
So as the company had needs, they would ask the question, who can figure out how we should approach the French market? And if you raised your hand and said you wanted to try, and you were smart enough to do research and understand the market, you were given the opportunity. And
Yeah.
then if you raised your hand again, based on what happened the last time, you got another opportunity. So it really gave me, my time at Spin Master really gave me a PhD in understanding toys, marketing, engaging the consumer. It was a wonderful, wonderful time in my career.
Yeah, it's a company that has become a giant in this industry, and you have been following all the steps, probably in marketing with them. So, were you
Yeah.
doing all the fairs with them already in New York, in Nuremberg, in Hong Kong? You were traveling with them?
Oh, absolutely. So my responsibilities as the company grew, my responsibilities grew. So
Mm.
I was the global vice president of marketing services.
Okay.
So from a execution standpoint, we were doing the strategy and execution for the United States, for Canada, for the UK.
Mhm.
However, the company was very, very smart. it really understood that not every market is the same. So we would work not only with distributors from a sales perspective in markets like France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Australia, Russia, Asia, but we would engage with marketing agencies in those markets because understanding the consumer is core to every activity. And just because you run successful campaigns in the US or in Canada does not mean that you will have the same luck or capabilities or expertise to run them in other markets where the population and its people have a different way of doing things or understanding or playing or spending money. So realizing these nuances, we would manage the agencies in these markets, while at the same time, we didn't overpower them by thinking we knew it all. And it gave tremendous insight into understanding what type of product does better in which markets, and really took the opportunity to learn the differences in how to approach and understand the consumer in globally. It was fantastic.
So you had a very good time, understand, 14 years from 99 to 2013, right?
Yes.
2013, about 10 years ago. So what did you do after?
So after that, I started my own marketing agency.
Yeah.
And the marketing agency was based on the core learning that I got from SPINMASTER, which is we operate for our clients as if we're their internal marketing team. So we really specialize in small and medium-sized toy companies and entertainment companies, really anything family. And we do it all. We take this integrated approach when devising strategy. So if someone asks me, is Chizsix a PR agency? The answer is we do PR, but we're not a PR agency. Are you a media buying agency? We certainly buy a lot of media, but we're not a media buying agency. We do influencer marketing, but we're not an influencer agency. We are an agency that provides the marketing department in a box. So everything works collectively and cohesively, so that when there is great influencer content, we can immediately share it on the brands of our social channels of our clients. And we can further take that amazing content, turn it into an ad, and run digital marketing. And we can leverage trends instantly without having to wait for a third agency to get involved. And it really becomes a seamless, time-saving, strategic partnership that our clients have come to appreciate because, to put it simply, we fight to keep our jobs every single day. We think of ourselves as an employee, not an agency. And, in the 10 plus years that we've been in the agency business, we have worked on amazing brands from companies all over the world.
All over the world. I was wondering if it was North America or all over the world. Okay.
So what happens is the vast majority of the clients want the work for the North American market.
Uh-huh.
However, historically, I would say about 30% of our customer base is based in markets outside of North America, and they're trying to break into the North American market and find us to be their solution to have a strategic partner that can devise strategy and execute strategy on the ground in the market. So, I mean, when I think about the client base, Australia, all over Europe, all over Asia, obviously the US, and Canada as well. But about 30% have been outside of North America looking to develop a business in this market.
Have you been working with French companies?
So we did do some work for Canal Toys a few years ago. That would be the only company that is French that we have worked with.
It's a company that had some good results last year on the French market.
Yes. We see them all the time at all the shows, go into their showroom. Their line is exceptional. I think they're going to have a very big year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about France, Harold. What do you know? What do you know about France? Have you ever been? What do you like? What you don't like?
Yeah. So when I believe it was 2006. I apologize if it was 2005 or 2007, but I'm going to say 2006. We actually opened a Spin Master office in France.
Yes.
And Anthony Gramond
was the first guy who was managing the office.
Correct. And then we added Florent. I apologize. I don't remember his last name.
Leroux?
Could be. Could be. They established the office there. And being the head of marketing, I got to accompany Anton to the strategy kickoff meeting for the market. So I did travel there several times over a couple of years to get relationships established from a marketing partner and marketing agencies, and to provide Anthony and Florent the support from head office, and understanding what was working in our markets from a sales perspective. Oftentimes we would feed into providing sales presentations with other market research, and because of my responsibilities, that information came from all over the world, so it really supported the sales team. I always had very pleasant memories of the market, and that experience. The landscape of retail is very different. The hypermarkets is a challenge we accepted and learned from, and how to navigate, from a sales perspective. And it was a really great experience. Love to be able to do more.
Where was the office? In the suburb area of Paris?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, good. And so did you have time to visit a bit, or to go through the country, or?
Yes, that was one of the things that, as part of my responsibilities at Spin Master, I didn't grow up with the ability to travel around the world. So when I would go to markets, I would always add a day or two at the end. I would make sure that I did all the tourist, the top things for a tourist to do to understand. I would spend some time after business hours roaming around to understand and experience. I was also very fortunate because in my role, I was responsible for promotions. And while there was a company called CPW, which was based in Lausanne, Switzerland, but the person running the kids promotions loved Paris. And whenever he wanted to meet in Paris. And it was easier for me to meet in Paris because it was a direct flight instead of having to take multiple flights. And that got me some extra time to explore Paris.
Okay, so you're familiar a bit with the Paris town. Very good.
Yes.
And could you go in other places or only Paris?
For time reasons, it was really focused on Paris. Yeah.
Logical.
Yeah.
And how was it to work with Anton? Because I don't know this guy. I just know the name, and for sure it's very known, but how was it to work with him?
He's amazing. You know, he is very dynamic. He's very intense. He is also very generous, and feels an incredible sense of giving back, not just financially. I'm talking about from learnings and knowledge. He wants to be a mentor and is a mentor to many people. In fact, I'll tell you, when I think about it, I've seen him all over the world. We spend a lot of time by coincidence on airplanes together. It just happens that way. And I remember I was flying back from Los Angeles in September. It was about 2 weeks before the New York Toy Fair, where him and his partners were being inducted into the Toy Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And we were talking and catching up. And he said, I'd like to ask you a favor. He said, the only person I've shown this to is my wife. But you know me so well. I have my speech for the Toy Hall of Fame. Can you look at it and give me some comments and notes? And we worked. It was like going back in time. We're sitting on a plane from Los Angeles to Toronto, and he trusts me so much after so much time to go over a document, a speech that he was going to give for a very reflective point in his career. And I remember I was at the ceremony 2 weeks later, and some of the edits that we made in the plane were in his speech. So that meant a lot, that he still respected and trusted my opinion, knowing that I trust and respect him.
I'm following his post on LinkedIn like everybody, and I just have a common point with him. He likes tennis, I think, a lot.
Loves tennis.
Yeah.
He brings 2 things on every business trip. His computer and his tennis racket. All the time.
I'm the same. Okay. Very good, Harold. Thanks a lot. It's time to conclude this little talk, and thanks a lot for playing the game and for being with me. And the little tradition, to end the show is to do a little little grimace, little funny face.
Okay, awesome. My inspiration is from opening a toy. So it's the face that when I would open up my light bright, okay?
Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Harold. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for playing the game. And well, if you need anything, please let me know. And thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.